All right, I'm posting this excellent exchange I just had about Philip Moriarty, and I had uploaded a debunking of his book on where he tries to use music theory to explain quantum physics. And so it was promoted on this one of these fancy science podcasts, and it's Professor Philip Moriarty. And and he was also on this other podcast called 60 Symbols. And so I had posted a reply that it's fun stuff, but Moriarty doesn't understand noncommutative time frequency. See Field's Mental Math Professor Alain Connes for his talk on music theory, music of shapes. He explains the truth of quantum physics from music theory. I also uploaded a debunking video of Philip Moriarty as well. Thanks. And somebody yesterday replied, and I reported their reply as harassment, because that's what it was. As this person, they're using one of those anime names, and I saved the reply here. Right here, 3 hours ago. Dude, get checked. So it's like, how dare I challenge a physics professor, because I'm just posting a YouTube comment. Well, luckily, I was able to document that physics professor Dean Rickles just responded to me yesterday, and I took out some of his reply because he put some of his reply in brackets and as commentary. But Dean Rickles, he is a physics professor, but he's also a classical pianist. And so I sent him the link to read my book, and I sent it a while back in, where is it? I sent it to him in May 26th, so I kind of forgot about it. He replied, I have not studied this. Do you have a PDF of your book? And so, yeah, I sent him the PDF, and so in my book, I'm critiquing Moriarty as well. So it's all out in the open. And so I posted, so luckily I got this reply from physics professor Dean Rickles, corroborating my claim. So he understood, not only is he a physics professor, but he was a classical pianist. And so then I just did a blog post, and I highlighted a couple sentences from his book. I enjoyed this book. It's weird how closely it overlaps with several, almost in fact, current interests and ideas of mine. And so you think, well, maybe he's just being nice. But then later on in the book, he says, I found it interesting to see Hiley saying that we experience the implicate order through music. That was exactly what I was trying to get across in my Tucson conference talk. I also note that William Rowan Hamilton thought of algebra as the science of time, as does Connes. Alain Connes, best dean. So I got that email just yesterday. Perfect timing to corroborate my claim. He's another physics professor, and he's a classical pianist, so he understands music, whereas this other physics professor, Philip Moriarty, is just an aficionado of heavy metal music. So, he obviously doesn't understand music as well as a classical pianist, because I've trained in classical piano, and so I know how grueling it is to train in classical piano performance. And so there you go. I do not need to get checked, and I reported this guy for harassment. And not only that, I have proof from another physics professor that my claim is not only valid, but so is the claim of physics professor Basil J. Hiley, and also Fields Mental math professor Alain Connes. So it's just an awesome response that he's engaging with the book. He's got he references other page numbers also in the book. I took out some of his email, but he is he's a professor, so I'm using his email because it's on record. You know what I mean? This is he's paid to be a professor to teach, and so this is a public debate, an intellectual exchange of information here, and it's about ideas, and the ideas in my debunking of Moriarty is completely valid because I'm backed up by another physics professor who understands music better. So that's pretty much what it takes to understand my ideas. You have to be a physics professor and a classical pianist. So I want to thank Dean Rickles for reading my book, for quoting it, and referring to page numbers and engaging with the content, because over and over I've had people not engage with the content. So it's pretty exciting that he actually understood the content of the book. And I'm going to link to his Tucson talk. And he seems to be kind of surprised that our interests aligned so much. He says it's weird how closely it overlaps, and he says, I'm very curious about you and why you decided to write me. Your book is like an AI. Artificial intelligence has read my interests and constructed a book from it. So it's like, it's hard to have that kind of synchronicity. And it's hilarious because you got someone like Philip Moriarty, where you have this popularization of science on YouTube, you got all these science channels on YouTube, and they're just promoting. I jokingly, I replied back to Professor Dean Rickles. I said, I thanked him. I said it was perfect timing because somebody tried to dismiss my claim about Moriarty using the wrong music theory to explain quantum physics. And I said the popularization of science on YouTube, it's like the Stalinization of science, like Stalin, because everything's turned into a soundbite, and it's these emotional algorithms. And so they're not really doing the deep thinking where they're questioning assumptions that you need to do. Like if you like Fields Medal Alain Connes or Professor Basil J. Hiley, their videos, they get hardly any views on YouTube. They're out there, they're on YouTube, but they get hardly anything. But something like anything on 60 symbols, that's going to get way more views because it's a popular science channel. And you got probably there's a dozen popular science channels where they get tons and tons of views, but they don't actually dig deep. They don't really study science. They don't question things and really try to answer deep questions in science. So the fact that I got this response from another physics professor who is actually, digging deep, and he's admitting right out, he's saying that's what I was trying to get across in my Tucson talk. He's saying another physics professor is saying the same thing that I was trying to say. So I helped connect him to another physics professor. And Professor Hiley is one step removed from this the Tucson talk, because Professor Hiley was talking right after Roger Penrose. He was talking with Roger Penrose at another conference. And that YouTube video is actually unlisted, so I had to send it to him. And the Tucson talk was through the Roger Penrose conference with Stuart Hameroff. So there it is. And Dean Rickles, Professor Dean Rickles, he's got an earlier version of the same talk that's also on YouTube. So I will post that. And it's, what can I say? It's an amazing synchronicity that someone tries to dismiss me the day after that I got this email that totally corroborates my claim. It's awesome. All right. Okay. Thanks.